Chris here with Invoked Cubics and him. Okay, so he's going to explain everything, and yeah, this is like a week before, or no, this is Wednesday, the week before the...
It's November 1st. We're pretty close to that damn ban list.
Yeah, the emergency ban list.
Let's see Spirals. I actually made this deck when Zodiacs and True Dracos were probably the bigger thing, and you can ask anyone here, I've actually had some really good results with this deck so far. So going in with it, 3 Duza. Foolish Bailer for the archetype. This card makes the deck playable because your spell traps have really good effects in graveyard. Probably the best card in the entire deck. 3 Crimson Nova. Super easy to special summon. Reveal 3 Cubic cards in your hands with different names. Special summon him. Has double attacks. If he destroys a monster, you can attack again. And 3k burn at the end phase. Super easy to summon him. He's your OTK factor. I've always liked the OTK Cubics, but I have my own little spicy thing. Triple V-Jom. He's good for, well, Cubic Karma's first effect. You can send it to the graveyard and gain an attack for the Cubic monster. But also, if you don't draw into anything, Cubic Seed is a stall card. Can't be destroyed by battle and puts Cubic counters everywhere. I'll get into that later. For the next ones, these are all personal choices. I like these ones because when they're special summoned, they do 800 burn and also their names. But for these two, I like them because when you run out of unifications, eventually you're going to need targets. And when these are sent to the from the field to the graveyard, you can summon 3 Cubic cards, well, 3 Cubic monsters from your graveyard. So you can bring back all your Duzas, send 3 cards, but you also can search any Cubic card, which is nice. And it could be from grave or deck to search. Then we get to the fun cards. 3 Alistair. Eventually I want to play 2 Alistairs and 2 Magical Meltdowns, but, you know, I'm cheap. Self-explanatory for Invoked stuff.
Alright, you have to explain why you're running the Invoked.
Oh, because... Okay, so when I'm making the deck, True Dracos would always be a problem because they would just get around it with their spell traps. So after a while I was like, you know what can stop it? And what goes with this deck? Well, I thought about it. Cubics are all different attributes. And the Invoked engine has different attribute fusion monsters. Congratulations, I did what True Dracos did. I slapped them together because they're all different attributes and it could stop my opponent from playing almost. Because Invoked.
Okay, where's your cookie?
Where's my cookie?
You deserve a cookie.
Oh. Yeah, that was my original idea, was because of different attributes too. Yeah, but... Yeah, it's at 3. I still prefer it at 2 because you discard a spell to summon a monster. It's usually Duza, because Alistair doesn't say when special summon, only normal or flipped. So I'm not playing 3, but you could do like discard Karma, summon Duza, so you get a search and your unification engrave. So Duza self-explanatory. It's for consistency.
That's not Duza, that's Summoner Monk.
Summoner Monk, yeah. Sorry, I'm tired. Summoner Monk brings out Duza. Play the Predaplant engine because I can. I like it.
Okay, explain.
Explain the engine?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm playing Fusion Sub, and there's cards in here like Chimera-Tech Rafflesia, and I like it because it's pretty much like you get a search and a draw with Fusion Sub. So I like the engine. Also, if you can't summon Duza, you can summon the Predaplant stuff and get your graveyard filled up with monsters.
Okay.
So nice, and then to go with the engine, the 1 Cobra, self-explanatory. 1 Fusion Construct, reveal a fusion monster, add a card listed on it. So your targets are usually Crimson Nova or any of the Invoked monsters. Add Alistair or Crimson Nova. Searchable by Chimera-Tech Rafflesia, or you can just add it to hand, or if it's add to hand. Fusion Sub, self-explanatory, Predaplant engine. Also, you can banish it, draw a card, and return a fusion. 1 Invocation, don't have a second. Also, Invoked engine, self-explanatory. Book of Law, because if I face decks like, for instance, DDDs, which are all darks,
you have to bang on me, man.
Well, I'm using it as an easy example. I could turn the Dark Invoked monster on the end phase into the light one, and then just go through the plays off of there.
Okay, real fast.
Huh.
If you had a second or a third, what would you run or to take out?
What would I take out for that?
Yeah.
For a second one of these? Honestly, probably Cubic Rebirth.
Okay.
I'm playing one right
Continue.
now. 1 Meltdown. Eventually I want to take out the second Alistair and play a second Meltdown. Pretty self-explanatory for the Invoked engine, honestly. 2 Foolish Barrel of Goods for consistency. Sends any spell trap to graveyard, and the spell traps in this deck are actually really good for the archetype, and probably really good in general. Send Karma's Search or Unification for floating. Self-explanatory after that. 3 Cubic Waves, OTK factor.
That's about it.
Kinda. I also like its grave effect. Like, say if my opponent's stalling, for instance, Trick Stars, it's like, okay, I'll banish Wave from the graveyard plus these number of cubic monsters, and I'll put that counter, so I'm not going to take the burn anymore, or like, just in general to other decks. Also, target cubic card, double attack, target other card, half attack. Gets around Crystal Wing too, which is really nice. 3 Cubic Karma. I need to get an ultra of this. It's taking me off.
It's pissing me off too.
Yeah, this is why I don't play the deck as much as I want to.
I'd rather do like a triple gold or triple super, but I like the gold.
Yeah, I want to get another ultra, but like I don't want any more of these. Yeah.
Shut up. Gold's good.
But,
except for the gold gods.
Yeah, the gold rare gold guys don't look at our silver guys. But you play 3 of, target a cubic monster, send any seeds from your hand or deck to the graveyard, gains 800 attack, turns Crimson Nova into 5,400 real easily, but it's also your searcher for the deck. Searches any cubic monster, which is really, really nice. Then we get to the traps. 3 Unification, first effect doesn't matter, only fuses for this thing. Gone into this thing like, out of 5 months of playing this deck, like
you pulled
4
it off
times.
Against me.
Oh yeah, I did. It was beautiful. The graveyard effect. The graveyard effect is really nice. It turns your deck into BA.
Oh god.
Float dot deck. 1 rebirth because don't have the second invocation, but sometimes it does go off. Spreads cubic counters, make it someone. I've actually had moments where it's like my opponent will tribute spells and monsters for a masterpiece, then they swing directly with masterpiece, I activate this, they summon all the masterpieces, problem solved. Summon Crimson Nova, swing for a game.
Okay, explain that. No.
Oh, the torrential?
No. What's with? Get this trash out of here.
I can't find my secret rare torrential tribute right now, so I literally found one in my column binder. I got this thing years ago.
Look at it, it's damaged.
Yeah, this is the only torrential tribute I own right now.
Oh my god.
Torrential tribute self-explanatory though, technically quote board wipe, and it triggers unification.
And you can always special summon the Nova from hand.
That too. Now to the extra deck. You don't really have much of an extra deck, but I play.
Okay, so basically what he's saying is if you have anything to put it in, you can take 2 out, but keep 1 in at the most.
1 is necessary, honestly.
Because you have to search for everything.
Yeah, so like for like Fusion Construct, I just like 3 because, you know, this deck doesn't need an extra deck to play. The only, quote, extra deck needed is the Invoke stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm playing 3 of. 1 Rafflesia for the Predaplant engine. He could banish a card equal to or lower than his level. He's level 7, which is decently powerful nowadays. Slower than Buster, sadly. But also when he enters battle, he gains 1,000. Opponent's monster loses 1,000. And on the next standby phase, if he's in the graveyard, search a fusion spell. Doesn't have to be to fuse, but fusion spell, which is usually a construct. 1 Starving Venom. If I don't have any search targets for Rafflesia in the first place, like say I draw Fusion Construct, I'll go into Starving Venom instead. He's a powerful card, I just like it, and plus he's easy to go into. Greedy Venom, just in case I have a Predaplant on board and like a Crimson Nova or a Starving Venom. His requirement's easy, and he's like a board wipe when he leaves the board. I can bring her back pretty easily. It's just a personal choice I like.
Did he say her?
I don't know.
How do you know? You just assumed the gender.
I don't know, don't ask me. Then we get to the main part of the extra deck. The Dark Invoked monster, all this is pretty much self-explanatory. The Wind one, the Water one, the Fire.
Why you use the water one.
The Fire one, the Earth one, the Light one, and this thing.
Explain why you use the water.
Dark one, because of decks like, for instance, when you use DDDs again, makes it so it stuns my opponent. Invoked Raging, face anything like Wind Witches. Also, I play Winds in the deck, Book of Moons, and it gets the Invoke stuff going. Like, say you flip Alistair, then you can flip it, search Invocation, continue your combos. This thing, I like it in the main deck, well, the main extra deck, for one reason. Paleos is a deck. This deck has a small issues against Paleo. You can put summon this thing in defense mode, and they can't really get over it. And Miss Starboy increases his attack and defense as well. So they're not really getting over this thing pretty easily. Invoked Percatrio, fire target, your fire invoked monster. Also, this thing can do massive damage to fire-based decks.
It's terribly shiny.
Yeah. Oh,
Because
yeah.
of the
they're
light.
they're all secrets too. This thing, I don't know. Maxi is a card. If I want to make a giant beat stick, I could banish Maxi. Zoos were a thing, so I played it then.
Who runs Max C?
I don't know. None of my deck. I don't even own a Maxi anymore. I got rid of that months ago.
Depression.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate comments for that. Self-explanatory. Like literally, ABCs is a deck. Pendulum Magicians is a deck. Everything's a deck. And Invoked Elysium because I just like it personally. It's pretty much a board wipe. Summon it, banish itself, banish your opponent's entire board.
Okay.
You rarely go into it though. Then we get to like the extra deck. Diamond Dire, rank 4. You use Duza and Alistair most likely. You always want to have a cubic monster on board for unification to trigger. So Diamond Dire. And then Levier. Because cards, for instance, you could banish off a Cubic's Wave's graveyard effect. You banish any number of cubic monsters. Like you could banish a Duza and use its Cubic Waves effect. But then you could like use the Predaplant engine to summon this and then bring back that banished Duza to get a Foolish Burial. And honestly, that's really about it. Like,
That's it.
probably like the basic combo with this deck would be like
Opening hand.
a basic opening.
What's a good opening hand?
A good opening hand in this deck would be. Where'd that Karma go? Would honestly be this because plus any other card doesn't really matter because you'd activate Meltdown and you search for Alistair, self-explanatory. But then like the things that matter. Normal summon Monk. Monk goes into defense mode when summoned. Activate Monk's effect. Pitch the Karma to special summon the Duza. And then when Duza's summoned, its effect's going to trigger, and you can send Unification. This card, these two right here are the best things to send. You always want one of this in grave for floating, and this is your searcher. So once this is in graveyard, you're going to banish this to search for your Crimson Nova. Because then eventually your opponent's going to kill this, you're going to banish it to... Best part about this is when your opponent, when it's a cubic monster leaves the field, you summon a cubic monster from your deck that's level 4 or lower. So you can summon another Duza, and he can't be destroyed by battle or card effects until the end of the turn.
Once per turn.
This entire deck is not once per turn.
Oh my god.
Well, except for like the burn effect. That's why this is great. Because eventually you can stack this all up, and your opponent won't know what's happening because the resources are out, and I'm still gaining my resources with graveyards. That's really about it. The rest is self-explanatory. The only things I don't main deck in here are like earth monsters and water monsters, and that's it.
Continue what buff you're doing.
So by the end of it, a basic board on your next turn though would be like normal Alistair. Alistair's effect would trigger.
And if my teeth are worse, then
It's as easy to search when the deck's shuffled. Search Invocation. Huh. I don't know, don't ask me. The Invocation. If you don't have any lights in your opponent's graveyard, I'm gonna banish the Duza. And then the Alistair.
We need to start getting under too.
Alrighty. To summon.
Yeah, we have like 5 minutes.
Alright, summon. Where is it? This thing. And then since he left the field, you will banish the Unification to special summon a Duza. And then this Duza's effect gets triggered to send another Unification. And then your usual invoke shenanigans. And that's really about it, honestly. Unless you guys have anything else to add to it.
I got nothing. I don't know your deck.
It's a slow deck to start with, but if your opponent doesn't catch on to it, that's game. Best thing, OTKing your opponent with literally
Triple
these.
Nova.
This part doesn't matter. Like,
I give you lettuce.
these are the OTK. How this OTK is the last card doesn't matter. I'm just gonna use Duza. You reveal 3 cards. Reveal 3 cubic cards with different names. Special. So then he's on board. You activate Karma. Karma's effect's gonna go off.
We already know what it does.
Yeah. And you send all 3 of the seeds. And seeds those things. All 3. So then you go to 54.
And then Cubic Wave.
And then wave.
Double it, right?
Double 54. So he goes to 10,800 and it can attack twice and 3k burn at the end phase.
And have
Yeah, and have some monsters attack too.
Oh,
Break
God.
my board dot deck. Best card about this card. Trident can't target it. Masterpiece can't target it. Buster cannot target it. Firewall cannot target
Can
it.
he Solemn Strike or Solemn Warning?
You can strike and warning it, sadly. But boss monsters nowadays cannot
Yeah,
Target.
nothing can be targeting it.
silent anything with 3,000 or less original attack. He's unaffected by, which is beautiful.
Okay.
And that's actually all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. If you have anything to add about this, nothing.
It's a fun deck. It was better when Zeus and Dracos were a thing. But that's really about it.
Okay.
Huh?
Any shoutouts?
Not really. I'm not that kind of person, man.
Poor James. There's your shout out, James.
Shout out to Ryan for making me realize that the Invoked Engine's still a thing.
Okay, let's get down before the tournament starts.
Yeah.